Over the years, I've seen people invest their savings into franchisees they didn't understand and lose everything. In this video, I'm going to show you what no one tells you before you buy a franchise, the truth hidden inside that 80-page agreement. Most people get caught up by surprise fees, royalties, and legal terms they've never read. So today, I'll break down the 7 hidden costs and traps to look for before you ever sign, so you go in informed, confident, and in control. This, my friends, is a standard 80-page franchise agreement for Little Boomers Basketball. Now, my question to you, how many people do you think actually take the time to go through every single page and every single word on this 80-page franchise agreement? Would you? Probably not everybody. Do you know what happens? They sign this franchise, which is an actual franchise agreement, by the way. They sign it, and then they run into issues later on. I didn't know about this fee. I didn't know about this. I didn't know the franchisor can do this. I didn't know this happens. And then the mess gets ugly and it goes into the courts. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you all the key elements, everything that you need to know about reading a franchise agreement, pretty much the things that franchisors don't tell you about. I'm going to be covering them in this video. Let's get into it. Now, before I get into today's video, guys, just a disclaimer. Please make sure you get an actual franchise lawyer to go through a franchise agreement. Don't rely on this video. Don't be cheap. Yeah, if you're looking at buying a franchise and you've been issued a franchise agreement, don't run it through ChatGPT either. You need to really hire a franchise lawyer to go through the agreement, and make sure it's not a standard solicitor, because a standard solicitor does not understand how franchising works. They'll say, oh, what the heck is this agreement? This is so not in your favor. The purpose of this franchise agreement is to protect the franchisor. It does favor the franchisor. After all, they've built all this intellectual property, all this brand. It can't just be a 50-50 agreement in favor of, or not in favor, half to the franchisee, franchisor. It does favor the franchisor. And any person will tell you that. But make sure you don't run it through ChatGPT and don't run it through your standard family solicitor. Get somebody that's familiar with franchising to go through it. Okay, so the first fee that you're going to find in a franchise agreement is the franchise fee. Now, most franchise agreements have a franchise fee. This goes straight to the franchisor. The franchisor makes mostly profit on this, and it's pretty much the fee to come into the network. It might be $50K, it might be $100K. It doesn't include equipment, it doesn't include training. It is called the franchise fee, and it's paid straight to the franchisor. And the franchisor makes mostly profit from this. This is where they make the most profit. So find in the agreement what the franchise fee is. It's usually the most biggest fee of the agreement, and that is called your franchise fee. The second thing you need to know when you're looking at a franchise agreement are what are the other upfront fees. So we've already established you've got the franchise fee, but there are also other common fees associated that you need to pay for at the start of the franchise agreement, right? These can include marketing fees. Most of the time there's an initial advertisement campaign or an initial marketing campaign that you, the franchisee, needs to pay. Now, this isn't included in the franchise fee team. Don't think that this franchise fee that you've paid for also has marketing. That's separate. So you need to see what the separate marketing fee is to get you going. And the other thing that you need to look for in the franchise agreement is the training fee. That's not included in the franchise fee. Usually the franchisor has to provide some type of training for you and for your staff to learn the systems, to learn everything in the business. That comes separate, right? So you've got the franchise fee, big chunk of money, that's separate. Then you have an initial marketing fee, and you have a training fee to train you up. And keep in mind, team, with the marketing fee, there's an initial marketing fee and also an ongoing marketing fee. So every franchise is different. You've got to make sure you do it. But essentially, you've got an initial marketing fee that you need to pay for to get the business up and going. But then there might be an ongoing marketing fee. There might be a network-wide fund where, for example, each franchisee contributes 1 or 2% of their revenue to a network, a marketing fund that the franchisor invests on behalf of all the franchisees. You need to know what those fees are, right? Is there an ongoing marketing fee? Do I pay for my leads? Like the gyms model, when a lead comes in, the franchisee pays for that lead, right? But you need to see what are the ongoing marketing fees. Is there a marketing fund? Do I need to pay for the leads? Make sure you scan that. But separate to the franchise fee, you've got your training fee and you've also got your marketing fee. Hey, just quickly, if you want to see if a Little Boomers basketball franchise is the right fit for you, book a discovery call with me and I'd love to have a chat. Key point number 3, what are the equipment costs? This is very important, team. And this really trips up a lot of people. Equipment is not included in the franchise fee, right? There might be an initial equipment package that you need to pay for. This most of the time is separate to the franchise fee. If you're, for example, purchasing a rolled franchise or any other franchise, there might be a shop fit out that you need to pay for, a fit out for all the shops. There might be an equipment package that you need to pay for. Most of the time, equipment, which is quite high, is separate. So make sure you take the time to see in the franchise agreement what the equipment fee is, but also ongoing equipment, right? You might run out of equipment. For us in our franchise, franchisees purchase, they get an initial equipment package that includes basketballs, cones, hurdles, hoops, everything. But eventually when they grow their franchise, they're going to need more basketballs. They're going to need more training kits for the kids. And they buy from us at our rate, right? That's ongoing equipment, but it's more of a pay per basis. So just figure out what the initial equipment fee is and what the ongoing equipment is that you need to purchase, which most of the time is from the franchisor. Key point number 4, watch out for one-time setup fees. The franchise might have one-time setup fees that you need to pay for. For example, licensing or insurance that you might need to pay for. Software subscriptions, right? You may need to pay a couple of $100 to bring you onto their CRM or some type of software. What are those one-time fees? Accounting or legal setup. Tech platforms. Every franchise has some type of tech platform or system. After all, a franchise is a system. That's what you're paying for. There might be a one-time fee for you to get access to their technology. Figure out, you can ask the franchisor, speak to franchisees, figure out what all the one-time initial fees are in the business. Key point number 5, understand the royalty fee structure of the franchise. Team, most franchises have a royalty fee. A royalty fee is an ongoing payment that you provide to the franchisor. You don't just pay a one-time investment and that's it. I don't have to pay anything else to the franchisor. There's an ongoing fee for you to continuously use the intellectual property, the brand, and the systems that the franchisor has built up. Now, the royalty structure, most of the time, is one of 2 ways. The first one is a percentage of revenue. Ours one, for example, at Little Boomers Basketball, is 10% of revenue, comes back to head office. So if you make $1,000, $100 comes back to us, and a lot of the times we reinvest that into marketing, reinvest that into improving our systems. That's called the percentage-based royalty structure. The second one is the fixed royalty fee structure. This is a fixed amount every single month, and it doesn't vary whether you make $1 million or whether you turn over $1. That will be, for example, $500 a month, right? $500 a month is paid to the franchisor every single month, and that is irrelevant whether you're turning over $1 million or $1. So you got to figure out what your royalty fee structure is, because you need to budget. You need to understand how your profit and loss statement works as a franchisee, and your royalty fee is an ongoing fee that's going to affect it. So is it percentage based? Is it fixed? Some have both. What do you mean, Emile, both? For example, some might say the royalty fee is either 10% of revenue or $800 per month, whichever is greater. Franchisors do that to protect themselves, right? In case a franchisee isn't performing well, it might be either 10% of what they make or $800, whichever is greater. So understand your royalty fee structure. Key point number 6, and a lot of people really get this wrong, right? Know what the fees are when you sell your franchise. Did you know that when you go to sell your franchise, I know when you're coming into the franchise, you're probably not thinking that far, but there's fees that you need to pay for when you sell your franchise. If you sell your franchise for $100,000, for example, you ain't getting all that $100,000. Most of the time, there's probably an assignment fee that you need to pay for to the franchisor. For example, our one is 10% of the sales price. So if you sell it for $100,000, $10,000 goes back to head office. There's an assignment fee. There's also a training fee because the franchisor has to train the new franchisee coming in. And there might be other fees associated when you sell your franchise. And a lot of people, when they go to sell their franchise, they're like, far out, man, I thought I'm selling this for $100,000 and I got $100,000. Now I've got to pay the franchisor the assignment fee and the training fee, right? And they get a little bit angry. So make sure you understand that when it comes time to selling the franchise, what are those fees? And finally, key point number 7, and this is the one that kills a lot of franchisees and really hurts them in terms of their profit margins is understand what the hidden recurring fees are of the franchise. And if you want to find that out, guys, if you go straight to the franchise agreement, there's a section called the franchise disclosure document. Now, the franchise disclosure document outlines all the fees that the franchisor can charge you. Now, not all of these fees might be applicable in the franchise agreement, but the franchisor has to let the franchisee know, hey, these are all the possible fees that we can charge you throughout the franchise agreement, just to cover themselves and because it's part of the disclosure document. Now, you need to find out from the franchisor which one of those fees are active right now in the company, like which one of those are actually active and reoccurring. Like, I'll read you straight here from the franchise agreement. We've got the royalty fee, the local area marketing. So each franchisee has to invest 1% of gross revenue into local area marketing. We've got the assignment fee. There's an administration fee, which we charge $1,000 per year because we have a lot of admin work and a big admin team that helps the franchisees. So we charge franchisees $1,000 plus GST for the admin fee. There's a renewal fee. So after 5 years, 10 years, how long the franchise agreement is, you need to pay a renewal fee to start that 10 years again. Ours is $3,000 plus GST. And there's a whole bunch of fees here. We're very upfront with the franchisees. We tell the franchisees, hey, these are the fees that we currently have in our business. We've got the admin fee. We've got our conference fee, which is about $500. And we tell them upfront, these are all the fees that are being activated. And in the event where we're activating a new fee, which might happen in the future, we let franchisees know within at least 3 months' notice that these fees are coming into effect. And we make sure that they're very reasonable to the network because we understand we want franchisees to be profitable. But this is what kills most franchisees because they don't understand what the reoccurring hidden fees are. They don't take the time to read the franchise agreement and read the franchise disclosure document, and they think, oh man, I'm just paying 50, 60, 100 grand. That's the only fees I need to pay. No. It's the hidden fees that kills franchisees' profitability. So team, to end today's video, I thought I'll give you a little mini due diligence checklist. If you want to get that checklist, click the link below. It's a little checklist that you can use when you're evaluating whether a franchise is right for you. What's the total investment all in? What's the training, marketing, and equipment costs? What are the ongoing fees, royalty, admin, levies? What's the royalty fee structure? What happens if I sell? What fees do you need to pay? And what are the franchise disclosure document fees and which ones are active right now? So you can get that checklist, take it in, evaluate it, make sure you get someone to look at your franchise agreement. Guys, if you enjoyed today's style of video with the franchise agreement, let me know in the feedback or in the comment section. I'll see you in the next vid.